Hi, in this video I'm going to be talking about the second conditional. Now in the previous videos we have already discussed the zero conditional, also called the Christmas conditional, and we have discussed the first conditional. Now we're going to focus on the second. Now for this you need to tell students to think about things which are impossible or very unlikely to happen. So you might want to give them a clue by starting with if I met, and tell them to think about someone that they don't think in their whole lives they will ever meet. Now my students are obsessed with Mohammed Salah. I have lots of Arabic students and they absolutely love Mohammed Salah. So maybe, I reckon one of them would probably say if I met Mo Salah. If I had. So tell them something they don't think they will ever have. So £1 million. Okay, and also if I was. Something they don't think they will ever be. So maybe you have a lot of students who are interested in becoming engineers, and you say, okay, so you think you will be an engineer, what do you think you will never be? And they say, okay, I don't think I will ever be a doctor. Okay, so you've got these up on the board, 3 very unlikely things. Now get them to close their eyes and imagine this happened. And say, okay, this happens, what do you do next? Okay? And so if I met Mohammed Salah, if you met Mohammed Salah, what happens next? And they say, okay, I take a selfie. Okay? So we say I would take a selfie. Okay? And then we're going to analyze this before we go to the next ones. So, first of all, what do you notice is different between the first conditional and the second conditional? And what you should notice is that here we have the past simple and here we have the present simple. And also here we have will and here we have would. So, we always use if with the second conditional. There is no when, only if. If plus subject plus past simple. Subject plus would plus infinitive. Okay, and remember there's no S because of the modal verb here. Now we're going to ask the students to complete these sentences. So, if I had £1 million, I would buy a Ferrari. And keep asking those questions. Is it likely that you will have £1 million? Or is it something that you are imagining? It's something I'm imagining. Right, it's not certain, it's possible, but unlikely. Okay? Then, if I was a doctor, I would help people. Okay, again, you're asking them, is this a real situation or is it something that is imagined? The second conditional is all about imagination. And that's why I sometimes call it the drunk conditional. And the reason I call it this is because I tell my students, okay, if you want to hear examples of this, go into any pub in Manchester at around 10:30 and listen to 2 men talking about football. I'll tell you, right, if I was the England manager, right, I would win the World Cup, no problem. If I was the president of America, I would help so many people. Because when people are drunk, they start talking about things which are less real. They start talking more in their imagination. Okay, so you will be able to hear that when listening to drunk people having conversations, and that's why I call it the drunk conditional. So, the first conditional was all about the future, likely, possible, or certain. The second conditional can be used for the present or the future. But it's used for the opposite. It's used for unlikely, impossible, or imagined. Alright, so this is about the real world, this is about the imaginary world. We've got our differences. Remember, always if plus subject plus past. If I was, if I met, if I had. Then we've got subject plus would or wouldn't plus infinitive. I would help people. And over here, I'm going to use if it rained in the Sahara Desert. I have to think of something that is unlikely. And then people would, sorry for my terrible board writing, I'm much happier with a normal board than a smart board. People would be surprised. And that's it. There's going to be one more short video after this one, which is going to talk about an extra aspect of the second conditional. And then there's going to be one more that talks about another difference between the first and second conditional and how you can choose whether it's likely, possible, or certain. That's it. Join me in the next video for the last part about the second conditional.